the line. You can best believe I hit and I won't miss. You can best believe when I creep to the line, I hit and I won't miss. You can best believe I creep to the line and I hit and I won't miss. You can best believe when I creep to the line and I hit and a nigga won't miss.
Meditate on this. Hitters get pissed when they see the ice on the wrist. Watch how they stop and stare. Look, trying to take a glare. Come close but can't compare. As smoke fills the air, deep vents taking over this here. I'm about to change the game, beat it out the frame. You will die real slow trying to remember my name. Trying to remember my name, nigga.
As I creep to the line, you can best believe I hit and I won't miss. You can best believe when I creep to the line, I hit and I won't miss. You can best
Wagwan, wagwan, wagwan. Right back at you with another one. I had to pour me some bourbon on this one. A half a cup of bourbon. Well, I got some individuals who have some things to say. Then I got some things to say. And then the spirit of the universe is going to take us square home. But let me say this. Let me make this statement. Black political puppets. Advocates that get paid to start shit, say shit. We about to dive in to several clips, which is only 3. We gonna go back and forth and back. Oh, trust me. I got one for you. Sit back, relax, and let yourself go. Grab your shoulder pads and your helmet, and let's get this work. Last time that I checked.
Attitude. Across this country, we've got millions of federal workers who have been showing up at the office every day without pay. This has drug on for a month now. Those federal workers have shown up for a month straight, not knowing when or if their next paycheck will be delivered. They're doing their jobs and they're doing it valiantly, while the Senate Democrats simply refuse to do their job. Their most simple and basic responsibility is to keep the government in operation so that we can keep the service.
But did you hear what he said? Democrats are not doing their job. Okay.
Services flowing to the American people and keep the country moving. But they're not doing that. So we just want to say to these federal workers, like the hundreds of civilian employees who are also spread throughout the country, like the ones in my district, for example, at the Bain Jones Army Community Hospital down at Fort Polk, our big Army base there. We just want to say thank you for your diligence, for doing your job, for your service to the country, even though Democrats are withholding your paycheck. They are shameless in doing so. Throughout this shutdown, President Trump and his administration have done everything in their power, as we relay to you here every day, example after example. They've done everything they can to mitigate and reduce the harm to the American people. He's gone out of his way to find creative solutions to ensure our service members don't miss a paycheck, for example, to ensure that the WIC program, that the nutrition assistance to women, infants, and children is still flowing. President Trump has proven beyond
the children will be, in my opinion, the worst ones to suffer through all of this. For real. They're going to be the ones that's going to suffer the most. You say, why? Children are our future. Children got to eat. But I'm going to bring everything together towards the end. And we're going to tie this thing together. And we're fixing to have a fucking grown-up conversation, an adult conversation, a fucking locker room conversation.
The shadow of a doubt that if there is any way to fund these programs that are drying up now, that he will do it. If there was any way to fund SNAP during the Democrat shutdown, you can be assured that your commander-in-chief would do it. But we are now reaching a breaking point. Thanks to Democrats voting no on government funding now 14 different times, SNAP benefits for millions of American families are drying up. It's about 1 in 8 people in this country who rely upon this to literally put food on their table. And the blame for this lies 100% with the senators sitting over there on the Democrat Party. They are the ones who have locked arms and decided over and over and over and over, 14 times now, to vote against these services being provided. And now I want you to think about that. You're going to have real people, real families. You're going to have children who will go hungry beginning this weekend when those resources dry up. They rely upon that, and yet the Democrats continue with their political games in Washington while people are sitting around the dinner table without the resources that they need. The administration has done all it can to keep this program afloat, but the limits have been reached here. And what are the
So, to my understanding, as we see, the Democrats caused all this shit to happen. Now, Democrats are the ones crashing out. The Democrats went so far as to pay individuals to make fucking TikTok videos shaming Trump, blaming Trump. Trump has nothing to do with SNAP. You heard it for yourself. Who has something to do with that? They're the ones who shut down the government. All because the Republicans did not want to put their agenda in their program. Like you said, everything was sealed, signed, and delivered. But once again, the Democratic Party crashing out because they don't like the fact that Trump's in office. Trump don't play ball. Let's go on ahead and go to the next clip. Peep this shit out.
Last night about the filibuster. We just want this to end. They do not deny that the Democrats themselves, that they are prolonging this pain. They admit to it. They said they're using it as leverage. The big question everybody needs to ask this morning is why? They're trying to appeal to the radical left Marxist rise in their party. That is sum total what this entire thing is about. And it is infuriating to us.
I think it's also Trump derangement syndrome. They don't want to give y'all anything. How much weight do these 4 airlines have on their decisions, on the Democrats' decisions? I'm sure they have lobbyists that are talking to them saying, y'all need to just sign this clean CR.
Yeah, it's the airlines. It's also the unions. The largest federal employee union, as y'all have reported, came out a couple days ago and said, please pass the clean CR. They represent 820,000 federal employees. That's supposed to be a constituency, the unions that the Democrats claim as their own. Look, you have more unions coming out. You had the head of the Teamsters out there.
More now on our breaking news. A second judge has ruled that the Trump administration must use emergency funds to at least partially cover SNAP benefits in November. Remember, 42 million Americans depend on these benefits for groceries to feed themselves and their families.
Yeah, so many people. And Renee Marsh is...
Again, as I highlight, the Democrat Party is definitely fucked up. They the ones who just fucked it up. And then you go on social media and what do you see? You notice, okay? You've noticed that you see more black women crashing out making these videos than any other race. And then next to black women making these videos, you see white women making these videos. Some white women making these videos. Pay attention. You got paid actresses, activists, and they ain't even acting right. Their acting skills suck. You can tell they fake. You can tell it's not genuine. You can tell if a person really went through something versus a person is getting paid to act like they went through something. This is some fucking good bourbon right here, boy. Let's go get it.
Just following this, Renee, what else are we learning? A very quickly moving story here.
Yeah, so these two judges, one in Boston and one in Rhode Island, making these decisions just really just minutes apart. And so what we have here at this hour is that these two federal judges are aligned in saying that the Trump administration is required to tap into this emergency fund that is sitting at the USDA that contains close to $6 billion. They must tap into that fund to keep SNAP benefits going. If you remember, the Trump administration said because of the shutdown, they had spoken to states and told them that payments would not be made on November 1st. That meant that some 42 million people who rely on this program starting tomorrow were not going to have funds on their cards to buy groceries for their families. But these two judges said that that was unlawful and that the Trump administration needed to release the funds for this program.
Boy. So we got to talk about two woke Obama-appointed judges, Judge Indira Tawani from Massachusetts and Rhode Island Judge John J. McConnell Jr., who both ruled that the Trump administration, the USDA, has to pay out emergency funds to temporarily fund SNAP benefits as the government is still shut down. Now, this is kind of a big deal. It's kind of not a big deal. I think it's more of a big deal because, once again, you have these woke judges trying to help the Democrat Party, right? Because the government shut down due to the Democrats and their refusal to vote for a continuing resolution, a clean continuing resolution to keep the government open.
And the reason why they don't want to do that is because they want to add their own agenda. That's the thing. They want to put in their own agenda. And the Republican Party is saying, no, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The 15th Amendment clearly states you cannot starve a person out. Granted. And they're telling you what some of those emergency funds are used for. Okay? And this was not the case that those emergency funds could be used. However, the Democrat Party is trying to find any way to make this man look like a total asshole. I'm gonna keep it $1 with you. However, throughout the course of this shutdown, why is it that Trump's value done went up? Why is that? So could it possibly be that this here will be a slap in the Democrats' face? This is backfiring on them tremendously. By them doing this, and more people are woke in that sense, and seeing the Democrats for who they really are, that's going to make them next time not vote Democrat. I got a homeboy right now who's a diehard Democrat, but he is so fucking gone, brainwashed, that the truth can be presented and he will still say, Let's continue.
Open, right? They want to virtue signal to the far left. And these judges are essentially handing Democrats a temporary lifeline, because the longer that this shutdown goes on, and when these benefits run out, because they will run out sooner rather than later, the more that this is going to backfire on Democrats, okay? Because anybody of average intelligence, you don't even have to be smart, right? You just have to have average intelligence and not be a con artist, right? Anybody of average intelligence and that's not a con artist knows that Democrats are responsible for the shutdown. I mean, the easiest IQ test you can give anybody that you know, your neighbor, your coworker, right? Whoever, right? Who do you think is responsible for the shutdown right now? Anybody answering that question with Trump and the Republicans, again, it's easy to tell that they're either a con artist, a liar, or they're just not very intelligent, okay? So again, the reason why is because Democrats have voted against the continuing resolution, a clean continuing resolution, the same continuing resolution they voted for multiple times, okay, when Biden was in office.
Even if they use those emergency funds and those emergency funds run out, then what? Then what? Bourbon, anyone? Steak and potatoes, anyone? Jerk salmon, rice and peas, jerk chicken, anyone? My point exactly. What point is it going to make once those emergency funds run out? And even then, with those emergency funds that you do use, people will only get partial payments. They wouldn't get full payments. They would only get half. Riddle me that, Batman. Explain yourself.
Even earlier this year when Trump was in office, they have voted against this over a dozen times. So they're the reason why SNAP benefits are running out for their constituents who are now boohoo, whining, crying, and threatening to rob and steal in response to their welfare running out. Okay. And the Trump administration argued that, we legally can't use this emergency fund, right, in order to fund these SNAP benefits because it's supposed to be used for natural disasters.
But the administration also argued, listen, there are different buckets of money. There are different laws that have been passed by Congress. There are some emergency SNAP funds. Part of their argument has been some of that is only for use in natural disasters. We know those are going to come. They're going to hit. So we don't want that fund depleted when that does happen. They also say their hands are tied by the way that Congress has appropriated some of this money, but the judge was not buying it. I'll be surprised if she rules in favor of the federal government. It sounded much more like she's leaning towards those states yesterday.
Yeah, I've heard the arguments, especially in some states in the Northeast, that they're already moving around money they have under their state authority to go ahead and cover that for the next month. So we'll see how it ends up.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Okay, the judge was basically projecting that she's going to side with the states. Remember, this lawsuit was led by Letitia James in blue states trying to save SNAP benefits, right, for their constituents who, again, are threatening to loot, rob, and steal, okay, over losing their money, okay, or our money, right? Somebody else's money, okay? Let's be real, because, again, it's net taxpayers' money, right? It's our money that these people are boo-hoo-whining and crying about. So with that being said, let's learn a little bit more about this decision. And then we're going to get into President Trump calling for the nuclear option in order to open back up the government. So let's get into it.
2 federal judges have ruled the government must continue to fund SNAP. The federal food assistance program was set to be frozen tomorrow as the government shutdown stretches into November. But more than 24 Democratic-led states sued the Trump administration over suspending the benefits. CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson joins us now to discuss. So, Jessica, these judges say the federal government needs to use contingency funds to keep SNAP up and running. Can you break that down for us?
Now, listen to what she says when she gives this breakdown, all right? Because I can guarantee you there's going to be some individuals out there that is not going to understand what she's saying, but will take certain things and fucking run 8 miles with it.
Absolutely. There was a question as to whether or not the federal government was mandated based on the terms of the statute to continue to provide these SNAP benefits, even though we are in a government shutdown and no new budget has been passed. We now have 2 different district court judges looking at the statutes and saying that they believe the fact that there are contingency funds there and looking at, again, the language of the statute indicates that the federal government must provide at least partial funding for these programs. We should remind everybody that these are temporary restraining orders, meaning this is not a final ruling on the merit. Both judges are looking at who's likely to succeed, where there will be an irreparable risk of harm if you do or don't grant this emergency relief. And what we're seeing is, in one case, the judge is saying, federal government, I think you need to pay, let me know by Monday. In another case, a judge is saying something very similar, which is you need to pay, essentially tell me by Monday that you did. But both of them globally reaching the same conclusion.
And so basically, if you haven't got anything by tomorrow, which is Saturday, you probably will know, you probably will get something on Monday. See, again, did all of this have to happen? No, it did not. All the Democrats had to do was look over the bill and sign it. But no, like what the Democrats have done in the past, crash out. Don't like the fact that Trump's in office. Trump don't play ball. Trump ain't with the foolishness. And they're going to do any and everything that they can to assassinate this man's character. But have you noticed every time they do that, it makes Trump look good? It backfires on them, but it makes Trump look good. Have you ever noticed that? And every time the Democratic Party crashes out doing something foolish, they ass get exposed. But this right here, this shutdown right here is definitely exposing the Democrats on all so many levels that you literally have to look at it and say, damn, these niggas did this shit. They did this. This was not the job of a Republican. This was the job of a Democrat. Look. So now, because of their stubbornness, because of their will not being a team, making a team effort thing, everybody got to suffer. Millions of individuals that are on SNAP and EBT got to suffer because the Democrats don't want to play ball, don't want to be realistic, because they want to sign their agenda, because they have an agenda. And the Republicans won't allow them to add their agenda in their program. Help me make it make sense. Your boy Big Truck cannot be making this up. I told you I was going to go ham in, and I ain't even scratched the surface yet.
So what do we expect to happen in the next few days?
Appeals. And the question is whether or not these decisions will be put on pause while these cases are appealed. Obviously, we're talking about a situation where people may not be able to access these benefits. So when you're thinking about why do you typically grant emergency relief, one of the things you look at is who could be harmed, again, by granting or not granting the relief. I think that will weigh heavily in favor of trying to get some money to people who, again, would otherwise be denied the benefits while these cases are appealed, but it's not a guarantee.
So
peep this out.
Information out there for y'all. And I'm not telling you who to vote for. I just want you to hear this information, do whatever you want with it, and then form your opinion afterwards. But to everybody saying this is who y'all voted for, Trump's the reason why all of this is going on with SNAP benefits, government shutdown, this, that, and the third. Democrats are actually the reason why the government is being shut down. Is shut down. They're the ones who has voted no 10 plus times to get the government open back up. SNAP benefits, they voted no. Paying essential workers, they voted no. The Republicans are bringing these bills to pass to pay these things and fund these programs. The Democrats are voting no. Why? To use it as leverage. They want y'all to say it's Trump's fault. That's what they want, to divert.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct.
There it is. You heard it yourself. You heard it yourself. They want to blame Trump. They want to blame everything on Trump. Everything is Trump's fault. But if you look into it, Trump ain't the one to blame. Project 25, all Trump. But Trump told you he had nothing to do with that. There was proof that came out. He had nothing to do with that. Because the people that was involved with Project 25 said Trump didn't have nothing to do with that. Y'all being deceived. Y'all being deceived. They're looking you right in your face and lying to you. They're looking you right in your face, thinking you're not going to fear them out. They're looking you right in your face, telling you what you're not going to do, but what you will do. Just accept it. Say what you want about Trump. You may like him, you may not. Man's a good businessman, and he stand on business, and he sit on chrome. If he like you, he like you. If he don't, he don't. That man gonna be bluntly honest with you. The question is, can you take it?
Hurt the attention off of them, put it on Trump. That way, y'all don't even realize that they're not for the people. They're the ones that are the reason all of this is going on. They want Trump to go down in history as the president who has had this huge crisis under his term, when they're the ones who are voting no. But they don't want you to know that. Y'all need to understand, the biggest thing about it is that y'all need to understand that while they're voting no to not fund the SNAP program, not open the government, not pay essential workers, while they're voting no for all of those things, they're still getting paid. So everybody else is suffering, but they're still getting paid.
Everybody else is suffering, but they're getting paid. Everybody else is suffering, but they're getting paid. You got women on TikTok making these ridiculous ass videos, acting like a fucking animal, acting so stupid. Like, you really sold your soul for a few coins. Some of you white women, yeah, I'm gonna go there too, because some of y'all sold your soul for a few coins. Some of you men, fuck that. Some of you men sold your soul for a few coins. I told you. I told you. I was going to have me some bourbon and we're going to have a fucking adult conversation. You sold your soul for a few coins, went on social media, making all these fucking TikTok videos. And guess what? The elephant is in the room. And we're going to call that elephant out. The elephant is Schumer. Come to find out, the Democrats was the one who shut this shit down. Democrats are the ones crashing out. Democrats are the one acting like bitches. Well, it goes back to what I said earlier. Black political puppets. Lyndon B. Johnson said it best. I would have these niggas voting Democrats. Look what happened. Look what you see. Now they crashing out. The bill's already set. Things are ready to go. Y'all wanted to add in your agenda, and we know what those agendas consist of. Republicans said no. Y'all find a way to crash out. Y'all find a way to blame Trump for something. But you know what? Keep it going. Keep that shit pimping, you understand me? Trump just went up 2 points. You making Trump look very, very good in this time right now. Y'all Democrats don't know what the fuck y'all just did, and it's backfiring on you. Let's go on ahead and flip to clip one. Like I said, I got 3 clips. We're going back and forth. We're going to flip this bitch.
Democrats doing today? Where are the Democrats? Are they in the Senate today? No, they're out campaigning. While critical SNAP benefits run dry, the Democrats have skipped town. They've abandoned their post in the Senate, and the reason that's so important and noteworthy for the American people is the Senate is the only place where this can end. The last hope of reopening the government before millions of Americans go hungry They've abandoned their post. Democrats are now this is the incredible part, they're now trying to somehow blame Republicans for cutting off SNAP when Republicans, remember, are the ones who have voted 14 times for the SNAP benefits to flow.
Thank you. Me personally, people ask me, what do you vote? I said, I don't, because I know what I know, and I have individual in certain places. Two separate wings of the same damn bird. Okay? Say what you want about Trump. Hey, he's a good businessman. Some things I disagree with. Some things I agree with. But once again, my feeling, the reason why it triggers me is because I've been homeless. I've been hungry. Some of y'all don't know what it's like to go 1, 2, 3 days without eating some food. I'm trying to told you. Some of y'all ain't never been homeless. So some don't know how it is, how hard it is. And with me, when I hear Democrat Party throw flame on the homeless, man, that gets my blood boiling. When you're talking about cutting certain benefits off that not only benefits family, but that benefits kids, that bothers me. That's why I'm going ham in like I am. That's why I'm exposing this shit. Tell the truth. You don't have to deceive people. Tell the truth. Every time the Democratic Party does what they do, they expose themselves. It's kind of like, hold on, bourbon is good on a Friday. It's kind of like how modern feminists mud puppy women act. Not all women, not all. But it's kind of like how modern feminist women act, how they behave. They expose themselves. And then when you check their ass, they get mad. But they try to find some way to assassinate your character, but it doesn't work because they've already been exposed. That's how the Democrats are behaving. Just like that. The crash out is real. You got some of these simp-ass men that want to lean in with their money, lean in with their status, and then when a woman plays his dumb, stupid ass, he has something to say. He's in his feelings. Well, look what you leaned in with. She has her every right to play your ass. You're going to learn today. Using those two analogies is how the Democratic Party behaves and acts, especially when they don't get their way. That's all I'm saying. Let's let the good times roll. Shoulder pads and helmet.
It's the Democrats who voted every single time to turn that off. The same Democrats who've been perfectly fine with defunding SNAP and WIC for over a month now are suddenly claiming to be outraged.
Shout out to my
that
brother
Republicans
I
and
am.
President
I love
Trump
you, King.
Can't just wave some magic
Shout out
wand
to
and
my
fix
boy
the mess
Dale.
that they
Love
themselves
you.
have created. If they're suddenly waking up to the pain their reckless decision is causing, then there's one simple way to fix it. They can come back in
Shout
here
out
and
to
vote
Miss
to reopen
Lovely.
the government. But we don't think they're going to do that. Now, this is what's interesting. The most recent development is that you've got many more people now calling on the Senate Democrats to do the right job. There's a handful of moderates still in the Democrat Party, and they are very upset about that. The tension is rising. You had Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, for example, who just yesterday, I think it was, accused his own party of, quote, playing chicken with the food security of 42 million Americans. He's right. And you've seen now the avalanche of people and organizations and unions. You got the largest Democrats openly acknowledge that they refuse to do this. They could be here all day. Threatens to shut down the government unless it gets its way, unquote. And that was Senator Coons in 2013. And what is he saying now? Earlier this week, he said, quote, frankly, this is fortunate to have her here today. She's going to talk about
Listen
the
to what
devastating
she has to
effects of
say.
the Democrats' decisions on all
Listen
this.
to what she has to say.
And I'm delighted to give her the podium now. Brooke, so thanks so much for being here, Madam Secretary.
Thank you, Mike. Mr. Speaker.
Wait a minute. Before she speaks, let's go to the next clip.
One of those 42 million Americans who would be impacted is watching this now. How would you say these rulings will affect whether or not they can get those benefits tomorrow or Sunday or Monday or the next day after that?
So I would say great question. These trial court rulings indicate that the 1 in 8 Americans who rely on these benefits should be able to get at least partial benefits. Having said that, we know these rulings will be appealed. So what we need to look at in the next hours is whether these temporary restraining orders, or in one case, almost granting the temporary restraining order, whether or not they're paused while the cases are appealed. That could mean people.
She got some big ass nostrils. However, do you understand the words that are coming out of her mouth? So you're going to get a partial payment tomorrow. Once everything is settled, in parentheses, you'll get your full payment that is owed to you in your name.
People will not get benefits, at least for a temporary period of time.
Okay, Jessica Levinson, thank you.
Yeah, so again, I just want people to understand that this ruling is not that big of a deal. The Trump administration probably will challenge it. Maybe they won't, okay? I don't know, because at this point, President Trump is calling for the nuclear option, which is to get rid of the filibuster in order to open back up the government. And I want to talk about that because this now gets into an interesting conversation where I feel like I disagree with the president on this, and I want to talk about it, but I kind of understand the rationale for why he wants to get rid of it, because again, Democrats are just being unreasonable. And personally, I do feel bad for people who are disabled, like truly disabled, and the elderly, okay, who are going to miss out on their benefits. I feel bad for the air traffic controllers. I feel bad for the federal employees who are not getting paid because of the Democrats in their games. So I get where the president's coming from. I get where his heart is coming from. I just have some reservations about the nuclear option because of the precedent that it sets. But who knows? Maybe we could be at a time period where it doesn't matter because the Democrat Party is so radical that they're probably going to try to get rid of filibuster anyways if they ever take back power and control. So without further ado, I want to play this clip of Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, discussing the president calling for the use of the nuclear option in order to open back up the government. Take a look.
The filibuster requires 60 votes to pass funding to reopen the government. Getting rid of it would mean Republicans could pass the bill with a simple majority vote. But it's empty on Capitol Hill this morning, and senators have left town for the weekend ahead of the critical day. Tomorrow marks the first day of open enrollment as well for.
Yes, it done left. They done bounced. They done got out of Dodge. My opinion is, should they use those emergency funds for those that are not getting their benefits, even though they're going to be getting partial payments? I would say yes, because something is better than nothing. Okay? Something is better than nothing. But also, in my opinion, be honest with the people. Period. Be honest with them. Be clear. And let them know what the next step is going to be, instead of leaving the people in the dark. Because when you leave someone in the dark, that's where their brain goes any and everywhere. Okay? That's where a large number of people start thinking with their emotions instead of thinking logically. That's just me.
For Obamacare, where health premiums have skyrocketed, a major sticking point for Democrats. And also tomorrow, 42 million Americans who rely on food stamps will see a lapse in benefits, forcing many to go hungry or skip paying certain bills so that they can buy food for themselves and their families. CNN's Kevin Liptak is joining us now from the White House. Kevin, what is the latest? We have seen these posts from the president making some demands on his Republican colleagues.
Yeah, and they call this the nuclear option for a reason. It's viewed as a last resort, even by members of the majority, and it would have the effect of incinerating precedent in the Senate. And so this is a step that even Republicans have been wary to use in the past, but clearly President Trump has made the determination that now is the time. He said he gave this a lot of thought on that lengthy flight back from Asia, where he says he was asked repeatedly why the U.S. government remains shut down, and now is calling on Republicans to eliminate that 60-vote threshold.
For Senate Republicans to blow up the filibuster in order to get the continuing resolution passed. I know in the past you've been reluctant to encourage your Senate colleagues to do that or not. Are you aligned with the president now that it's time for them to take this dramatic step to really?
I haven't. The president's been very busy. He was in Asia doing all these trade agreements. I've been a little busy, as you know. We haven't spoken since he returned. I sent him a text earlier this morning. I saw that as well. What you're seeing is an expression of the president's anger at the situation. He is as angry as I am and the American people are about this madness. And he just desperately wants the government to be reopened so that all these resources can flow to the people who need it so much. Look, I'll just say this in general. As I've said many times about the filibuster, it's not my call. I don't have a say in this. It's a Senate chamber issue. We don't have that in the House, as you know. But the filibuster has traditionally been viewed as a very important safeguard. If the shoe was on the other foot, I don't think our team would like it. The Democrats, look, they've said what they would do. They would pack the Supreme Court. They would make Puerto Rico and D.C. states. They would ban firearms. They would do all sorts of things that would be very harmful for the country. And the safeguard in the Senate has always been the filibuster. But again, not my issue, not something I get to even weigh in on. My opinion on this is not relevant. It's the senators. But I think that it just is another expression of the frustration, of the pressure that is being felt.
Either way it goes, at the end of the day, something's got to be done. Okay? Something's got to be done. 12 o'clock midnight, folk are going to be looking to go check their account. Some are going to be looking to have something in the mail if it's not on their card, or whatever the case may be. Individuals are going to be looking after 12 a.m. And that's the thing that is important. Something's got to be on that card.
Really great to be here with everyone. I was reminded I was in the speaker's backyard in Louisiana over the weekend and on Friday, and we went to a restaurant there, and our waiter by the name of Joe was wonderful. He was a multi-generational Louisiana and New Orleans.
Was you at a restaurant or in someone's backyard? Okay, maybe I'm the only one that caught that. Let's continue.
And he was our server, and he was just so impressive. And towards the end, he brought up that, well, this is a job he had to take because he was furloughed and so was not making any money. And he worked for the federal government. He didn't know who I was. And I said, well, Joe, I can appreciate that. You know, I'm sort of in that world as well. And I said, where do you work? And he said, well, I work for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in their New Orleans office as part of the financial team. And so it just really brought home for me, to echo what Mike said, just thanking so many thousands of federal workers who are showing up, who are still doing their job, who aren't getting paid, those that are now concerned.
I want to tip my hat off. I want to say here at the King's Table, we pay love and respect to those federal workers that is taking their time out to get dressed, come to work. But you know what? They're going to get back paid. So, but I still tip off my hat to them and say thank you. We appreciate you. All right? Let's continue to feast.
Concerned about putting food on the table and making their mortgages and paying their rent, but to be out in the country, I was in Indiana yesterday, and understand the real sort of pain that's being felt. But just to echo a couple of the themes that Speaker Johnson talked about, again, the idea that the Democrats have now for 14 different votes voted to keep the government closed is absolutely unconscionable. Every day, they hold the federal government hostage. They are leaving millions of families' livelihoods and critical benefits, including SNAP, hanging in the balance.
Because they know what the fuck they are doing. See, they want everybody to get wired up. They want this thing to get physical. They want this thing to go to the street. They want the chaos. They want it. They want the smoke. Republicans trying to prevent it. Democrats want it. Because in their eyes, if this shit goes to total chaos and goes somewhere where it doesn't need to go, of course that's going to make Trump look bad. Oh man, that's going to make him look bad. Not knowing that through this whole shutdown, you actually making Trump look good. Through this whole shutdown, you've been exposed for who you are, who you really are. And the shit is sad. It's disgusting.
Of course, we all know the 13,000 air traffic controllers working without pay, many turning to Uber, taking second jobs in restaurants, etc., as this shutdown continues. Hundreds of thousands of federal employees are not receiving a paycheck. Thousands of small business loans are going unapproved each month because of the shutdown, equating to almost $4 billion in capital being taken out of the pockets of small business owners across this country, truly the backbone of our economy. It is a fact that Democrats shut down the government over free health care for illegal aliens and their $1.5 trillion partisan wish list. Democrats need to stop playing politics with the livelihoods of hardworking Americans and open the government now by voting for the clean resolution. We are here today because SNAP benefits run dry tomorrow. So the truth has finally revealed itself, hasn't it? Democrat support for programs like SNAP is now reduced to cynical control over people's lives. This last month has shown that the party who constantly says it puts people over politics does the complete opposite. Millions of Americans, as of tomorrow, will no longer receive SNAP and potentially WIC or even a paycheck. Democrats have instigated a disgusting dereliction of duty unlike anything I have seen in all my years doing this work, all to favor illegal aliens and other radical far-left policies that benefit only a small, tiny sliver of their base. I am embarrassed for Chuck Schumer. He is going out of his way to please the likes of Zohran Mamdani.
Chuck Schumer, that's the one right there. That's the motherfucker right there, the ringleader of the demonic crew. But again, your boy cannot be making this up. Let's go ahead and go. Let's flip. Let's flip.
Again, this is leverage because they want Trump to go down in history as the president over this during his term to have this huge crisis when the Democrats are the ones to vote, have been voting no for everything. They just want y'all to continue to blame Trump. That's their goal. I'm not sitting here trying to tell you to switch sides, who to vote for, none of that. I just want you to know the truth and know the information before you go around pointing the finger, because that's what they want you to do. And I'm not the one to fearmonger, but if you got some money, some extra money, you should probably go to the grocery store and load up, because at the rate that this is going right now, November is going to be a wild one.
single issue funding bill. Let me give you some facts about.
I would just say, men and women, be careful. For the month of November, be careful. All right? If you do your shopping at night, do your shopping in the morning. If you are a single woman, take a male with you. I don't care if it's your uncle, your father, your brother. Take some extra hands and feet with you. Don't be out there, I'm strong, I'm independent. Yeah, your strong, independent ass gonna get your damn groceries taken. Your strong and independent ass gonna get robbed. This is the time to use wisdom. This is the time to be smart. Think smart. Think. Use your brain. Know where you're supposed to be. Know where you're not supposed to be. If you see something about to pop off, get the fuck out of Dodge. That's what any normal person with common sense would do. Let's see how many of y'all have that.
These SNAP benefits, because it's time to say the quiet part out loud. It's called the single issue funding bill. Please listen. I just want to give you some facts based in constitutional law. President Trump is not in charge of funding food stamps. And President Trump is not responsible for cutting food stamps. There is a law called the Anti-Deficiency Act, and this prevents the president from funding USDA or SNAP benefits beyond November 1st. This can be as simple as the House Democrats sending over a single issue funding bill. Let me say this one more time for the people in the back. Single issue funding bill. That's it, that's all. The Democrats can submit one single funding bill. The Republicans have submitted a bill 12 times to have SNAP benefits continued. Democrats shot it down every single time. The Democrats are playing in your face, and they're playing with your emotions and trying to make this about President Trump, and it has nothing to do with him.
You just can't make this up. You just can't make this up. Y'all are going to enjoy today's show. Oh, we got a good one right here. Oh, man. What an absolute disgrace. Oh, what a time to be alive in 2025. I hope everybody that's tuned in right now that you are blessed, well, and healthy, man. I'm wishing the best in everybody's life. I don't care what side you lean on. I don't care if you believe in this or that. I don't care what your skin color is, what you look like, where you come from, if you're liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican. One love, man. And all we can do is call it out for what it is. Call out the truth. Keep it real. Don't sugarcoat it. You know? And just be great human beings, man.
It goes beyond that. Just being yourself. Sorry about that. I have to step away for a minute. But just being realistic about everything. All right? A lot of individuals, especially when you look at TikTok, they're making these videos. Okay? These are paid actors and actresses. They're getting paid to crash out. And all of their videos, have you noticed, Trump's name come up? And some of these paid actresses can't even act. You can tell they fake. Then, of course, you got AI coming out with their videos. The Democrats know what they are doing. They know. And now they know that you know. Because it's getting exposed by higher ups that are on the other side of the Democrats, exposing them for the shit that they're doing. Like I said, those that have sold their soul to the things of this world, the devil is coming to collect.
Doesn't take much to be a great human being, you know. But the people are tired, man. You know, taxpayers, you know, people been spit on, man. Them patriots, They've had enough, man. You know, system, people have had enough with the system. I'm telling you, they're sick of it. You know,
you get tired of getting drugged through the mud. You're getting tired of getting done dirty. We're getting tired of it. There are people out there that are in real situations. There are individuals out there that are really going through it.
But they just let's go and roll it.
Hi, you guys. I'm out of the store. So they wanted $7 for this. Mind you, I don't have food stamps anymore. They cut me off. So I only had $22 left in food stamps. So this is what I stole. Okay.
So
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct.
you mean to tell me you stole out the damn store and you sitting in your damn car making the fucking video showing the I cannot be making this shit up. Oh, big truck cannot be making it. You are a motherfucking fool. You are a damn fool. A black dumb fool.
Wanted $9 for this. I said, I don't got $9. Then they wanted $2 for this. They wanted, sorry, it's all fucked up because it's been in my purse. $7 for this. I'm making some stuffed salmon today. These are needed. I'm not paying $7 for that. Okay. Let me show you the most important thing to me. Short ribs. Take off the label so that you don't beep. Get your fucking meat. How many do you think that I got?
She pulled out another one.
This heifer pulled out too many packs of rib. Your thieving ass.
I mean, went inside and then just exposed it, the whole crime on camera.
Just
pulled it all out the purse.
I hope they find your ass.
How many short ribs is that? And can I be real? More
Really?
y'all bitch ass niggas should have started taking shit from the motherfucking corporations a long time ago. Y'all just didn't have that shit in your motherfucking bones.
And you know what? This is the type of motherfucker right here, man, you need to stay away from. Her ass is single and ain't got no damn man. You will be a fool to cream up in that and get that pregnant. You will be a damn... I will find you and come beat your ass myself. I mean, she's a fucking horrible thief. She stole, sat in the damn car, made a damn video showing the items that she took. Help me make it make sense, Run Tell That.
Get out there and get in the motherfucking... Feel like I told you, everything out here is yours. Whether or not you take it, they call that shit free will. I call that shit eminent domain.
Yeah, your eminent domain black ass gonna be in jail. Because if I was law enforcement, which I am, where I work, I'll find your ass and arrest your ass for theft. You fucking thief. You're thieving. Let's continue.
You know what I'm saying? One thing I learned from the white men, take it! Hey, now! Take it! I don't give a fuck who's already sitting there.
One thing she learned from the white man is take it. One thing she learned from the white man, take it.
I don't give a fuck if your land was already established. Bitch, it's mine now and I want it. That is what we should be preaching in the land to the fucking masses. Act more like a white man. Take it for yourself, bitch, and you won't be worried about who don't got it. You see what I'm saying? Get out there and ravish.
I see what you're saying. That's why you laughing. I see what you're saying, and I agree. But well, once again, the devil's gonna come to collect. And when he collect, your ass gonna get got.
Last but not least, go in that church and infiltrate. Don't be stupid.
Then
Get
the
in
bitch
there.
gonna put on makeup.
Ask them for some rent money. Ask them for some help. You been tithing. Say your lights is off. You need a stipend. You need some food.
Yeah, that's true. And you be ready to give up them cheeks. Be ready to give up them cheeks, because that's gonna come next. You got, hey, I got funds, you got buns.
Go to the church.
Go to the church.
Ask for help. If the pastor don't help you out, blast them on social media. Quickest way to fuck up the church's money is ask for some.
That's wrong.
Go do it.
That's
See what
straight
you
wrong.
get. Report back to a real bitch. Let me know. If the church doesn't help you after all those tithes you gave, well, go ask for your tithes back. See if they can give you a donation form and they can just redonate your money back to you. See if they can do that. If they can't, I want you to come back under this post and give me the reason why they said they cannot reimburse.
Why are you asking people to do something your ass wouldn't do? Riddle me that.
You back the money you and your family have given to them for years. Also, why they can't help you. Let me know.
So we got people out here crashing out because a lot of people are not showing any sympathy for the possibility of those people that get food stamps not getting them in the month of November. You know how many people I've seen sell food stamps to get their hair done, nails done, their toes done, buy an outfit to go to the club, drugs? A lot.
Facts.
If I've seen it, other people seen it. You know what? That's why
Facts.
people don't give two fucks. I've seen people, women, get a new man. The man got the food stamp. Now, the food stamp is for her and her kids.
I've seen it.
I've
Pretty
seen
sure
it
y'all
too.
seen it too. Be honest
Yep.
with me in the comment section.
I've seen it
The
too.
man has the food stamp card and he in the grocery store buying shit that he want. People see that shit. You know what? They don't give two fucks. You know, some kids go to school and get breakfast and lunch, no dinner, because mama not sold the food stamps for shit that she wanted. Dumb people don't give two fucks. So don't get me wrong. It's not everybody, but people see some fucked up shit. So they're like, who cares? And people are saying,
I mean, we've all seen fucked up shit. We've all been there and done that. We've all been in the gutter and so forth. You know, there's an adult way to go about things where you don't have to involve you going to jail and getting taken away from your kids. You see me? Your character is everything. But you got motherfuckers crashing out here. And a lot of them are fucking paid under the table. Let's keep that shit $1. They asses are getting paid. You know what a paid activist job is? To go out and cause chaos. Go out and cause disruption, discomfort. A lot of them will go make these fucking TikTok videos. And then you got some on top of that to get attention. Oh, this is a way for me to get my views up. This is a way for me to get my likes up. So let me start making these damn videos. Just like the chick before this one. Did she steal those things? Or did she buy them things and fucking made a damn TikTok video and tell y'all that she stole those things? Help me make it make sense. Game recognize game. Player to player, pimp to pimp.
well, what about my kids? Well, yeah. What about your kids when you had the food stamps? You out there selling them. What did you think about your children then? People are seeing this, and people are like, well, nobody don't care. You don't go through no hardships. You know, this, that, and third. You can't say people hadn't gone through hardships. People just deal with them differently. But
you're right. And on the other hand, you got some people that put themselves through fucking hardships. They bring hardships on themselves. Let's highlight that.
The fucked up shit that people do, people see that. So now people are like, I don't care. They be like, what about... girl coming here, she was talking about them food stamps. And, you know, I asked the question only as Aunt Viv can. I said, are you mad that you might not get food stamps to feed your kids, or are you mad that you might not get food stamps to sell this month?
She might not get food stamps to sell this
And
month.
she got mad. And I was like, I'm just asking the question. I say, because you sell your food stamps every month. I'm like, so which are you mad at? You mad at that you know, you got to go out there and spend money and feed your kids, and you don't have them food stamps to sell and have the extra money in your pocket, do shit that you don't want to spend your money on? Are you mad at that? Let me know. And she got mad.
Shout out to my homeboy, OK Rick. Go to his channel, show him some love. Black Conservative Perspective. Go to my man's channel, show him some love as well. Go to my channel, show your boy Big Truck some love. I need 5,000 to hit 100,000 subscribers. Stop playing with your boy. Let's go.
But only Aunt Viv can answer that question. So, shit's about to get real. Instead of y'all moaning and groaning about it, y'all got to come up with a plan. Because y'all worried about November. Y'all better think about 6 months to a year down the road, or the next 4 years. Because this administration is trying to cut off all that shit. All them shit some Democrats did to give people shit, to make people's life a little bit easier, they're about to cut all that shit off. And some of that shit needs to be cut off, real talk, because people have been taking advantage of the system and abusing it and depending on that shit. Not everybody, but some. So yeah, they about to cut that shit off. They about to cut off. Y'all fussing about 1 month. Y'all better be thinking about the next 3 years. Shit's about to get real, because they shut off Section 8, y'all fucks. Because some people out there paying $50 a month. You got a pocket full of money, but you paying $50 a month. So that money about to be gone, because you gonna have to go out there and actually pay that shit out of your pocket. That assistance you was getting to pay that light bill, and you just got the windows open and running air conditioning, yeah, they about to cut that shit off too. So you got to pay your own light bill. So
she's actually right, and she makes a good point. I mean, let me know in the comments. Let me know. Is she right or wrong?
Life is about to start life for a lot of people. But don't get mad when people don't give two fucks, because we see so many people out there abusing that shit that they be like, I don't give a shit. You know, what about my kids? What about your kids? When you was out there doing that fucked up shit with them food stamps, what about your kids then? So it's not everybody, but it's fucked up. I see seniors, they give them $50 a month. What the fuck is $50 a month? Well, they $3 over the allotted amount of money. But you got this shit next door that can work. Got teenagers still getting food stamps, but won't work.
Won't work.
Y'all ain't saying nothing to her.
Won't
People
work.
see that. You got this veteran with PTSD. Can't work because he might choke the shit out of somebody if you say the wrong thing or blink, or somebody drop a book. You won't give him anything. You got somebody that actually has a disability and need it. Well, you give him a little something, but you don't give him enough. But you got this chick, he getting $2,000. So people see that. So people are reacting on what they see, what they've come in contact with. So y'all can't get mad. Everybody has a different opinion. You may feel one way about the situation, and a whole lot of people may feel the other way. So only thing I can tell y'all, buckle down. It's about to be a bumpy ass ride.
Stop going to white liberals for money and then complaining about their power. Malcolm X said the white liberal is the worst enemy to America and the worst enemy to the black man. The white liberal's purpose is to perpetuate a system that will keep the black man dependent on the white liberal.
Well, what do you think? What do you think?
A man who is polarizing America with his socialist rhetoric and anti-American principles. The very essence of government responsibility is to the citizens who live and work here to protect their interests first, unless you are a Democrat in the United States Senate. Chuck Schumer and the Democrats are doing all this because they fear the socialists and the radicals to their left. Ironically, in leaving American families hungry and American children without food, they are giving a preview of what those socialists will do to every one of us if they ever take power. What you're really seeing here is the end of the Democrats as a responsible party of government, a party that ends governance, a party that ignores Americans, a party that cannot master the most basic principles and processes of government, is a party that cannot be trusted with the reins of power. It isn't oriented toward anything but the end of the system in which it exists. SNAP is arguably just the beginning. The logical and inevitable end to where this all goes is the Democrats and the whole superstructure of constitutional government. President Trump has made it clear, reopen the government get government funding back on solid footing, restore the confidence of American families who count on programs like SNAP, and stop treating them and their well-being as pawns in a political game, according to the Democrats. Prioritize American citizens, prioritize American families, and prioritize American children. I would like to make a quick note and then want to obviously leave lots of time for questions. Yesterday, I was in Indiana, and I was visiting a soybean farm, 6th generation soybean farm, the Everetts. And they have about 1,500 acres right outside of Indianapolis. We were harvesting corn, but they also do soybeans. And as I was there, it occurred to me that what President Trump has been doing over the last week or weeks in fighting across the world to open up markets for American farmers, for American families, while the Democrats are back here playing political games. It must stop. We must get the government open, and our citizens and these voters and our taxpayers and our families and our children expect no less. Thank you all.
Again, can I be making this shit up? Democrats have fucked up big time. But yet, they all blaming Trump. But look who's the one to blame. So you mean to tell me you were willing to starve out families, households, trying to stick to your guns instead of doing what's right? Y'all asses is getting a paycheck. There's households out there, some households out there that are not getting a paycheck. But those men and women, regardless about the color of their skin, some men and women still coming to work. So basically, what the Democrats are saying, fuck y'all. Y'all being selfish. Y'all want to see shit pop off. Y'all want to take it so far. See, here's your president. Your president had extra funds that he could have distributed, but he chose not to. Look. Trying to put all this bad press on Trump. But yet, not knowing the Democrats' behavior is pushing more people away. I guarantee you, the next election, motherfuckers ain't gonna be voting on damn Democrats. I'm gonna tell you that. That shit dead. That shit gone.
Felt the anger by the president and by me and all of us that we're in this situation at all. Do your basic job. I'm going to say this again. We have put zero Republican policy priorities on the CR. It is Biden level policies and spending. They have no excuse at all not to support it. They have no excuse to put all this pain on the American people, except that for what we've just articulated and repeated here every day, they want to give a showing to the radical left fringes of their base, and they want to give illegal benefits or benefits back to illegal aliens and non-citizens and all the other crazy stuff that they've claimed.
Can I respond?
Sure.
I just very quickly, I have not spoken to the president either since last night, but let me say this. He is, and I've been next to him for almost 9 or 10 years now. He is so resolutely focused on delivering for the American people all day, every day, 7 days a week, 20 hours a day. This is what he is thinking about. And as the world's greatest deal maker, from his perspective, the way he thinks out of the box as a businessman is how do we end this nonsense, and how do we again open the government, and how do we support these families that need support?
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Now, again, this is a very, very, very thorny issue for me. And the reason why is because it's really a damn if you do, damn if you don't thing, right, to a certain extent. And I almost feel like the filibuster is bailing out Democrats from a problem that they created, because I really do feel like, one, low key, this is what the country needs, right? Like, we actually do need to do this experiment, and let's see what actually happens when people lose their welfare, right? Again, I feel bad for the elderly and the disabled, the people who truly need it, right? And I wish that the government can find a way to get it to those who actually really need it. But on the other hand, you got illegals on the system.
42 million people in this country that need food stamps on a weekly basis. And we're saying people deliberately instead of Americans, because most of the people that are on food stamps aren't even from this country. 45% of Afghanistan immigrants are on food stamps. 42% of Somali immigrants, 34% of every immigrant from Iraq, 23% of Haitians, 59% of all illegal aliens are collecting food stamps, meaning that most of the people getting food stamps from the U.S. government and the U.S. taxpayer are not even Americans. Thank you.
Well, trying to tell you something. Trying to tell you something. What does that tell you? Wake up, people. It's time to wake up. It's time to get out of your emotions and start thinking logically. Let's continue.
Think about that. And we didn't know about any of this before the government shutdown started, but thanks to Democrats, we can confirm tonight that millions of Joe Biden illegal aliens, people who crossed the border when Joe was president, are now collecting food stamps from a program funded by hardworking American taxpayers.
You have welfare queens on the system. You have people who don't want to work who are on the system. Those people need to lose it, right? Let's keep it 100. They need to lose their benefits, okay? And one of the reasons why I say this is because of the fact that the welfare state, in my opinion, is destroying the conservative values, the family-oriented values that made this country great in the first place. We're not supposed to be relying on the government for help. We're supposed to rely on each other, right? There's a reason why we promote marriage. There's a reason why we promote personal responsibility.
But you have some people, and shout out to my man, Black Conservative Perspective. Like, again, go to his channel, show the king some love. You have nowadays, you have programs that are designed for single women. Long as if the man is out of the home, you're entitled to some of these programs. If the man is in a home, you don't get none of these programs. On the other hand, you have programs for married couple that they don't tell you about. That's why I say, depending on which state you live in, do your research. It is so imperative that you do your research because they have programs out there for married couples. Did y'all know that? They have programs out there specifically for households, not just single parent household. They got programs out there from two parent households. Let's continue.
There's a reason why we promote community engagement, right? Going to church. It is up to the community. It is up to the church. It is up to nonprofits. It is up to the people, right, to support each other, for us to support each other when it comes to this type of stuff. It's not up to the government who steals people's money, right? Take people's money forcefully, and then they give it to people who don't deserve it. Community should voluntarily, that's the key word, voluntarily cooperate in order to support those who need food and assistance. Again, we should not be forced to do it at gunpoint by the government, okay? Because I know there are some people who will say, oh, well, see, the government is made up of people. So therefore, the government doing it, it's the people doing it. And it's like, no, there's a difference between voluntarily supporting the local community and those in need in your local community, which is a good thing. That's the Christian thing, right? And the government forcing you to give money to people who refuse to work and who continuously make bad decisions with no accountability via taxation, right? Those are two very different things. I want people to understand that. And I really, truly believe that we should get back to a point in this country where we are relying on each other and there is a need for family and strong community bonds. And I really do think that if a lot of these people who are taking advantage of the system, if they lost their benefits, they would, one, have to get jobs, okay, which is good. And then two, they would actually have to rely on family. They would have to rely on the community. A lot of these baby mamas going to have to go find their baby daddies, right? And they're going to have to do something, figure something out in order to feed their children. That is a good thing, right? It is a good thing.
Not only that, it goes to show women, you really do need your man. Men, you really do need your woman. Y'all really do need each other. Get this shit out of your mind. I don't need no man. No, bitch, you do. Stop lying to yourself. Learn to be honest with yourself. In times like this, you wish you had a man. At times like this, where's your baby daddy at? At times like this, you gon' wish.
When people have to rely on each other in order to survive, that is what promotes family, right? That is what creates the necessity for family and strong community relationships. I really do believe that, and I think that the welfare state is tearing that apart. It is one of the biggest problems with this country, and that's why low-key I'm like, we kind of need this, right? Like, we kind of need to go through this experiment, and let's see what happens, right? Let's see what happens. But again, part of me also, I feel really bad for the elderly. I feel really bad for the truly disabled. I feel really...
Most definitely, and I totally agree. I'm on board with that. I feel sorry for our elders. I feel sorry for the disabled that they have to go through this. And this is the thing right here that chops my hide and stirs my grits, because you have individuals out there that are going through these things that are going through these things unnecessarily. They don't have to go through these things. But once again, the Democrats and their fuckery.
Really bad for air traffic controllers. I feel really bad for federal employees who are losing their paychecks because of the Democrat shutdown. So again, it's kind of damn if you do, damn if you don't, right? Also on top of that, I mean, you can already see the spin here from the leftists, like for example, Ed Krasenstein, right? Listen to this. Breaking. Trump just called for the nuclear option. He's trying harder and harder to gain more and more power, but he's not a fascist. Right. Now, again, these are the same people who told us that the filibuster was racist. These are the same people who begged the Democrats to get rid of the filibuster to pass the George Floyd Policing Act, which, again, is a soft on crime act, right? They encouraged the Democrats to pass the so-called John Lewis Voting Rights Act, which, again, would federalize our elections. So the filibuster has a place in the Senate where it has blocked Democrats from doing a bunch of radical stuff that they otherwise would not be able to do. And they were boohoo, whining, crying, racism, hate, and bigotry because Republicans were using the filibuster to block their extremist agenda. You guys remember Joe Biden saying that it's Jim Eagle, right? Compared it to Jim Crow. No.
Because the truth is, you can't be dependent and free at the same time. And that's the part nobody wants to say out loud, because once they control the way you think and what you depend on, they don't need chains anymore. But for just a minute, step outside of it. I challenge you. Let's do a little thought exercise. Look at this critically, not emotionally. That's where real freedom starts, because the more you're emotionally attached to your race, the easier it is to control you. It's realizing we've confused education with indoctrination.
The more you know who you are and whose you are, they can't control you. This is nothing but a political stunt. Political control. The Democrats are showing you how much they are in control of you, because they hope they are withholding something that you need. But telling you, if you go against Trump, we can make all this go away. All you got to do is just go against Trump, and we'll end it. Allow us to put our agenda in the program, and all of this can go away.
Indoctrination. The idea that we're inferior and therefore we must receive. That's the last stage of colonization, people. The last chain left on our minds. The insistence that we're inferior.
Sister's cooking.
Shelby Seals said inferiority was established through white superiority and that white guilt has infantilized Black America, and it's allowed white liberals to act as our caretakers rather than our equals.
Come on, beautiful.
And the more we tell
Spit
white
that
people
truth.
they need to give in order to be racist, the more we'll receive and the more we'll depend and the more we'll reinforce the same lie that we're inferior. And it'll never stop. Because dependency isn't progress, it's slavery dressed up as compassion. Because when you depend on the system, you can't be controlled by it. And control is the opposite of freedom. Because freedom is never the reward for moral innocence, it's the reward for moral responsibility, Shelby Steve.
But people are showing how much they need the system. Now, when it comes to our elders and it comes to the disabled, I give y'all a pass. Okay? When it comes to our military vets, I give y'all a pass. But to an enabling body that is able to work, but choose to lay up in trust and depend on benefits, come on now. Come on. Let's be real with it.
The more you rely on them for a check, the more you'll vote for that check. You'll vote for what they call empowerment and assistance. It's not about progress. It's not about excellence. It's about profit and power and your vote. And all that time you spend scrolling, start reading what makes you uncomfortable. Not 3-minute videos that enforce the cage around your mind. Slavery was psychological, not just physical. Stop pointing fingers and asking for regression packaged in a reparations check. Change your mindset.
Entitlement. That's what happens when a society rewards laziness and punishes responsibility. Now the entitled crowd thinks it's okay to steal just because they lost their food stamps. Somewhere along the way, they convince themselves that if the government stops handing out free stuff, they have got the right to take whatever they want. That is the Democrat mindset. Promise free everything, then point fingers when the bills come due. That is not hunger. That is entitlement. And you know what's even worse? They are being encouraged to think that way. The same politicians who preach compassion and equality are the ones who created this dependency in the first place. They train people to rely on the system and then act shocked when the system collapses.
True. True. Sister speaking facts. She cooking. She cooking. Brown stew chicken. She cooking. Let's continue. Like I said, men and women, y'all need to wake up. Y'all are walking dead. That's what y'all are, walking dead. I don't need no man. I don't need to depend on no man. But y'all sorry asses depend on the damn government, and look what happened. Y'all depend on food stamps and shit, but look what happened. Like my mans in them said, maybe this is a good thing. Maybe this is a thing to sit y'all asses down and think about what is real and what is right and what is realistic. And to know that these benefits aren't forever. Like I said, military vets, our disabled, our elders, I give them a pass. But if you are a normal, able body and you able to work, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm not throwing flame on you. I'm just saying, what's wrong with you? Let's have an adult discussion about this. Leave your feelings and your emotions out the door and come to the table being open-minded and ready to listen, ready to receive. Not saying you a bad person, but some shit's got to give too. Some shit is just old and outdated, long overdue. For real, for real.
Meanwhile, hardworking Americans are paying more in taxes, working longer hours, and watching people justify theft as survival. My heart goes out to the people who are old, sick, or disabled. They truly need help. But these entitled idiots who think the world owes them free everything, they are the reason the system keeps breaking.
Why is the government shutdown not a both sides issue? Why are the Democrats to blame? Well, Democrats are using a short-term spending bill to push long-term policy changes that don't belong there. They've said it outright. They will not vote to reopen the government unless their healthcare demands are met. What they're demanding is an extension of temporary COVID-era spending that artificially lowered healthcare costs under the Affordable Care Act. Those measures were not part of the ACA itself. They were emergency subsidies created under the American Rescue Plan Act and later extended through 2025 by the Inflation Reduction Act. When that spending expires, the ACA simply returns to its original pricing framework. Not a spike, not a crisis, just a return to baseline after years of inflated relief funding. And yes, people will feel it. Premiums will adjust. But that's not because Republicans raised prices. It's because Democrats are refusing to admit that these subsidies were temporary. They're using the fear of higher costs, a perception they created, to justify holding the government hostage. And because Republicans are in full power, this is great leverage to make it look like it's their fault. Now, here's where it gets even more reckless. They're not just trying to extend the pandemic subsidies, they're also trying to reopen and revise parts of the One Big Beautiful Bill, a massive spending law that's already been passed and signed into law earlier this year. The One Big Beautiful Bill reshaped portions of Medicaid and other federal programs, and Democrats now want to undo sections of it by tying their changes to the current funding debate. Instead of debating revisions through normal legislative order, they're trying to squeeze them into the continuing resolution, which is a short-term bill that's supposed to do one thing: keep basic government operations funded. And that's the abuse here. A continuing resolution isn't a policy-making tool per se. It's a bridge, a stopgap to prevent a shutdown while Congress negotiates the full budget, using it to rewrite sections of existing law.
See a more potent display of the difference between Republicans and Democrats than what you're about to see.
To not pay the military, to not pay TSA, to not pay air traffic controllers, and to interrupt SNAP benefits for Virginians most in need.
Glenn Youngkin, Republican governor of Virginia. Watch this. Pay attention to this.
He says the state will pick up the bill for meal assistance.
The state of Virginia is going to step in and cover the benefits for a while. We have the financial resources to do it for a while, not forever.
Meanwhile,
wow, they have the financial resources to do it. You know why? Because they have all of our revenue. We have sent all of our revenue to Virginia. Their coffers are full with our revenue. Now, compare what Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin is doing. He's going to make sure that those people have SNAP, and I'm going to give you a little bit of background on that. Compare that to Governor Moore. This is Governor Moore, Democrat governor of Maryland, how he's approaching this.
Moore put out a statement. He says the Trump administration hasn't guaranteed states will be reimbursed for covering federal expenses like food benefits, which has been the case during previous shutdowns. The governor says, quote, "We will continue to do everything in our power to ensure the federal government follows the law and provides funding for the critical services that our families, our children, and our veterans rely on."
Now, this is interesting, and I've been telling you this for the longest time. Democrats are not your friends. For those people, oh, the Democrats are helping us. I have been.
Hell no. And everybody else has been highlighting that. The proof is in the pudding. What more proof do you fucking need? Okay? The Democrats are showing you they don't give a damn about you. But on the other hand, a Republican can show you the same. Two separate wings of the same damn bird. But what's going on right now in this season? The Democrats are showing you that they don't give a fuck about you. The Democrats are showing you, okay, that they rather let you starve and let chaos happen rather than come to a simple solution. But no, the Democrats want to put their agendas, their own agendas in the program. And And the Republicans are saying, we're not going to do that. This is wrong. Again, they crashing out. They mad. They in their feelings because Trump is in office. And look at the good that Trump has done already. Let's highlight that. We're going to let my man take us home.
Been telling you, if you listen to my program, I've been telling you over and over and over again, when you people are like, oh, well, we're going to provide expanded SNAP benefits and we're going to pay your rent and everything, they do that for moments like this. This is why they push those things, because this is leverage. Like the Democrats have explicitly said, this is leverage. And in a case where you have a Republican governor in Virginia, his priority is like, look, these people need these benefits. Let's get them fed. Governor Moore is thinking, how do we blame this on Trump? How do we leverage this? And I think there's another layer to this, by the way. I didn't even get to this. I personally feel like the Democrats are really twisting the knife, and they're mad at black people for not showing up for Kamala Harris. I promise you that's part of this. And so
that's the main deal of it. They mad because a lot of black men and a large number of black men and women was like, fuck you. We're not voting for Kamala Harris. She ain't even a black woman. She black when she want to be. Hell, she Jamaican when she want to be. Stop it. There's only one bill that she did have. Is a bill for homeless. Now, if she would have leaned in with that, she probably wouldn't have won, but she would have got some votes. Or maybe she was told not to lean in with that. See, what's going on behind closed doors, you really need to pay attention to. Okay? A large number of people are paying attention to what's going on right in front of them. Fair enough. But you need to be focused and pay attention to what's going on behind closed doors, the shit that you don't see that's brewing. That's what you really need to be careful of and be afraid of and prepare for. The shit that's coming that you don't see.
Feel like, oh, well, you guys get this, and you can already see on the people are talking about this. Well, you guys voted for this. They want to make sure this hurts because it's related to Trump. That's the difference between Republicans and Democrats. Republicans generally, now again, I can't speak for all situations, they want to get the job done. The other thing I want to point out here is the fiscal situation. Now, Maryland is in no financial situation to be picking up any tabs. We've pretty much run through the surplus, the $5 billion surplus that Governor Hogan left us with. Westmore turned it into a $3 billion deficit. They barely been able to claw out of that.
And with that being said, it's your boy Big Truck. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. It's a dope conversation. I know I have. Subscribe, like, comment, and share.